Hi, I'm Kristen, and I currently live in a women's shelter. I've been dealing with alcoholism for the past 3 years of my life, and I've relapsed a few times. It's been really difficult. But what I learned is the most important lesson is stop beating yourself up. It's really easy to do that, and it feels like a relief in the moment, but you really have to take care of yourself, and you really have to give yourself some credit for the good decisions you've made. What I try to do every day is make the right choice, and it's baby steps. Like, I've got a ways to go before I can get back on my feet, but because I keep trying and keep taking risks. I went to the shelter. I was really afraid for my safety, but it worked out okay. I feel like the universe is on my side as long as I keep making the right choice. So just stay hopeful. And like I said, don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing the best you can. And I see that in people, and I see that in myself too. So give yourself a pat on the back for doing what you're doing right now. Even if you make a wrong decision, keep trying.
So when we were talking, we're talking about the idea of kind of like words of wisdom, right? Or kind of like what is a great lesson that you learn
Yes.
in life. And I feel like it's very, very hard for me to say that. Suddenly I feel like pressure, like, oh, I don't know, I don't have any great words of wisdom or something like that. And someone once, asked me on the street, like if I could say something to a bunch of people, what I would say, if I had like a microphone, like a magic microphone for humanity. And I was like, I think I would just listen. And I don't know that I would say something. I would just like kind of be quiet. But I do think like somehow kind of acknowledging people at some kind of level is important. And I teach, and in my classes, I start all my classes the same way. I teach at a university, and I start every single class the same way. I say, "Hello, good afternoon, welcome, and I'm happy to see you." And it sounds corny, and I think it is corny, and the students, I'm sure, think think that it is. But it came from the fact that I take the bus to go to work, and there's this bus driver. His name is Fleming Jones. This is in Charlotte, North Carolina, so I'll give him a shout out. And he would fist bump every single person who came onto the bus. Every single person, he acknowledged them, and when they got off the bus too. And I thought that was kind of remarkable because I imagine if you're a bus driver and you're driving these kind of long routes day after day, it has to be exhausting. You come across so many people. I'm sure he came across many different kind of problems, but it didn't seem to kind of stop him, and he didn't make a big deal about it either. But he just did it. He just acknowledged everyone, and I felt like it just made me feel good about people. And it made me feel like, how can I do that? How can I share that? That like that has come to me. Like how can I share that? And so that was like so would teach when I teach, that is why I say those words. That's my way of kind of spreading that. And even if people think it's corny, it's okay. And if the students hear, if those the people in the classroom hear, I'm happy to see you, those words, a couple times a week, if they just hear it then I feel like that's good, and maybe they'll feel a little bit more welcome, and a little bit more seen, a little bit more acknowledged, and it's not like any kind of wisdom that I have to share with them. That's all that I have, but it's something that I could share, that I could bring in, and so yeah, that's
Wow.
that's that's it. Yeah.
That's
Okay, so biggest lesson I've learned in life is probably just try not to think too much about the future and try not to think too much about the past. Just try to be present in the moment. It's kind of hard to do sometimes because, we actually do need to think about those things from time to time, but I just do my best every day to not, uh, you know, think about that too much. Just try to think about where you're at.
don't beat yourself up.
Yeah. In general, if you do that, you realize, everything's fine. You're good.
Biggest lesson I've learned is to trust God. There's so many, you know, life is hard. There's so many challenges, lots of blessings, challenges, but through it all, I found that trusting God Jesus Christ as a compass, as like an anchor, that when things get rocky, you know, I still feel stable. Even though it's not great, I could still like endure through that storm. So that's what I go by.
Trust God. Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
In life, it's important to do whatever it is that you put your mind to. And so far as it takes, you make the necessary effort, the necessary work that you think is enough to do whatever it is you think you're supposed to do. But I think that's all life is all about, you know. That's what makes one life worth living. You have to look at things and try to figure things out, trying to make things work, trying to do things. That's what it is that you want to do in life. That's pretty much it.
The biggest lesson that I've learned from life so far, because I'm learning every day still, is that you should be humble in all situations and have patience. And I say that because I'm a new parent and I've been
Congratulations.
humbled many times over since welcoming my wonderful little daughter. And that I have to have patience every day because kids learn at a very different way than adults do, and every day is an adventure.
Believe in yourself. If you have a dream, pursue it to the end with determination that you know that you would succeed.
Have confidence in your dreams.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your answer.
This too shall pass. If you're going through a good time, this too shall pass. If you're going through a rough time, this too shall pass.
So, about 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, and I learned that to appreciate everything, be grateful of everything, because life isn't a straight line. It's a series of those ups and downs. I also learned that to tell people how you really feel, because you never know what could happen, and that things get better. It always gets better.
Get better.
I think for me, waiting and getting perspective on anything is most important. Not making any rash decisions. Just waiting until you see clearly, or more clearly, because maybe you never have perspective fully. But yeah, perspective.
Basically that I don't know everything. You're never gonna know anything, I don't think. You're basically just gonna keep trying, failing, readjusting.
If somebody has a dream and they think that it's very hard to achieve or they cannot achieve it, and life stands in the way, what do you want to tell these people?
Just pay attention to what you're doing or what you're learning along the way. You might have to change your destination. Just be honest with yourself, I guess.
Be honest
with yourself. Pay attention to what other people may tell you. Don't, basically just try to learn as much as you can.
Better yourself.
You better yourself, but look at things objectively as well. And then hopefully your path will be a little clearer that way.
The biggest lesson I've learned in life is that, you have to persevere, you have to keep going, you run into obstacles, but you have to keep going. And along the way, you have to be, good to people, always try to do good in your good time.
Be kind to people.
Yeah, be kind, be good, and do good whenever you get the chance to.
Life is short.
Be good, yeah. And, life, there's still a lot of lessons to learn, but then I think, from experience, maybe, to persevere and keep going, even if you run into obstacles, and to be good along the way,
Be good along the way.
My biggest lesson is forgiveness, learning how to forgive. Because I believe in life that somebody is going to hurt you. And depending on your level of love or like for them determines your level of pain when that hurt comes. And depending on how you feel about that person determines how you will forgive. Some people don't realize that they haven't forgiven because they move on. But when you get into another relationship, that pain comes back. And you will then be reintroduced to that pain again. And then you will say, wow, you should say, wow, I'm really not over that. Because what was done to me, I'm now repeating, and I'm giving that pain back to somebody. And you have to learn that that is not the way that you want to live. You want to feel love and you want to give love, and accept the fact that in life, people are going to hurt you, some intentionally and some unintentionally. And you will live like that. You will live without expectations, knowing that it's not always going to go your way. And you live with that because that's life, that's growth, that's maturity.
Wow.
So forgiveness for me has been my biggest hurdle. But once I realized that I can forgive, because the hurt that I felt, I had to believe that it wasn't personal. It was just how that person had to live. That's what that person had to give. And I pray for them that they no longer treat people the way they treat me. And I know that I won't treat anybody the way I was treated, because that's not me. I have more to give. Not to say that I don't hurt, because I believe that I do, because people tell me about my mouth. So I know I've hurt people with my mouth. But I ask now, because I know that I'm capable of that you please tell me when I hurt you. Give me the opportunity to say I'm sorry so I can apologize, and then we can both move on.
Wow,
So
that
that's
was
my thing,
amazing. That was
forgiveness.
so
Really?
amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.